All right, welcome to my Canvas training. The first thing I wanted to start with was external link assignments. These can be incredibly powerful with Canvas. So I've created a little demo here, and I'm in my sandbox. This is a great place for you to test things out and try it out for the first time if you're unsure about how they'll look to students. So you can always preview those. But external link demo. I initially I made this slideshow for a class last year where they had to do a little species slideshow. And so the powerful thing about this is by embedding it into here with the external tool, it automatically makes every student a copy. And then um, when they are done working on editing it, it is in their Google Drive, so they don't necessarily lose it if for some reason there's a glitch. And they can come back to this whenever, just by opening the assignment again and keep working on it because it is from their Google Drive. Then, as a teacher, you have a SpeedGrader um, button up here, and you can see all of their previews. So, real quick, just to show you how I've done this, I'm going to go to Edit Assignment because this is obviously what it'll look like for you. You go to create a new assignment, you title your assignment up here, right? You don't need to add anything here unless you want to, but it kind of it'll cluster their screen, in my opinion. Unless you put directions, you can put directions here, and then you can have, uh, excuse me, you can have this load this tool in a new tab. So when you select your external tool and you have it loaded in a new tab, they get a little kind of text box thing here that says load this tool. So actually I've selected that. Let me just show you how that changes things. So I'll save that. It'll take me back to the view. And so you can see here they get this button that says load this external tool, and it'll be the title of the assignment. So that if you want to then install or type your directions above it, it'll kind of push it down um, in that. So there are benefits to keeping it within one page. There are benefits to opening in a new tab. And the biggest difference would be the amount of space you get. So when you open this I'll go back and show you. When you open this in a new tab, you'll see that the window is much larger, and so the student has much more visibility of the buttons and the slides, almost as if they were in Google Drive. And again, this will make a copy for the student into their Google Drive, and then if they really wanted to, they could go to their Google Drive and open it up and start working on it from there. But this also helps students stay in Canvas. So that's that benefit. But I'll go ahead and close that, and I'll go back. I'm going to edit assignment again to now show you how I've done that. Again, that could be a personal preference on whether or not you load it in a new tab. But right here is the biggest thing. When you start a new assignment, it's going to look like this. You come down, 0 points, generic assignment group. You can organize your assignments. You can change how it's graded. If you want it in the gradebook, I believe certain apps will require that you have a point system to it, but it also will, I believe, go with complete incomplete if you use SpeedGrader. So we can talk more about that if you have questions. But your submission type will say no submission. And then you could do an online submission, which is going to be through the Canvas interface on paper. So this would be more of you having a computer system to check off their stuff when they turn in a piece of paper to you. So this obviously would not show up on Canvas. And then external tool is the one that you want. Once you select external tool, you're going to see that it gives you enter or find an external tool URL. And these are all the tools that you have access to with our Canvas integration. So if you're trying to do a project in Adobe Spark, you can create a student template, open up Adobe Spark, and I've never actually done this in my science class, but I have one little project here. So this theoretically could be a student template, and I would go attach, and then close out. Sorry, I'm not doing that. And then you end by saying select. Then it'll be in that assignment window. Apex Learning, Badger, I'm not even entirely sure what that is. BrainPop, um, Canvas Data Portal, ChemVantage. Based on your previous history, you might have experience with some of these that I don't have. CK12 is a full online, uh, basically platform for learning and curriculum. So lots of resources for every content area in here that are already done. So you can kind of go and pick different lessons that you might like, and they're all interactive and have videos and reading and questions. So if you haven't checked out CK12, I recommend it if you're looking for some activities that I think are pretty thoughtfully put together. Again, lots of platforms. One that I'm going to come back to that I really want to share is Formative. If you haven't worked with Formatives, incredibly powerful, incredibly easy to use, in my opinion, as well, for students and for the teacher. But you can embed Google activities, you can embed videos, and all sorts of stuff. They can do all sorts of showing their work, so that it kind of gives them a blank canvas where they can draw and they can put pictures and shapes and text and kind of explain themselves, as well as providing answers. And it can auto grade based on what you set it out. So if you're doing multiple choice, anything like that, you can have it grade itself and provide instant feedback for the student. GeoGebra, I know some of my math partners in the past already use it in their class, but you can link resources from there. And Google Doc Cloud Assignment. So even though it says Google Doc Cloud Assignment, it really is like your Google Drive Cloud Assignment. And so if I go ahead and click this, it should pull up my Google Drive. There we go. So the first page of my Google Drive, I have, all these different kind of organization systems. So for this demo, I put in miscellaneous, Canvas training examples, and I have a Google Doc example and a Google Slides demo. So the one that we saw a little preview of was this Google Slide demo. We also have a Google Doc, and I know some of you probably are interested in that. So I'll select the Google Doc, submit, and then again, it kind of goes back to this window. Don't ask me why. That's some of the weird ins and outs of Canvas, I would say. But then you hit select again, and now you see the URL is in there. Again, you can load it in the new tab, or you can keep it in the box, but I will just go ahead and keep it in the box for this demo. You can give them a limited amount of attempts, unlimited amount of attempts, and that's how much they can go back to it and submit it. I believe if they don't submit it, then they always have an unlimited amount that they can go back to it. You can assign to one class period at a time. You can assign to everyone. Of course, they require that we have a due date for every assignment, and this will show up only at that due date unless you link it into an event. So don't forget to do that. You can also, again, set when it's available. So, okay, you don't want it to get started until Tuesday morning. So you click that, and the default is first thing in the morning. Okay. But once I hit save, you should now see the Google Doc is embedded into this activity. And again, the moment a student opens it, it's going to be their personal copy that they're typing into. Then there's SpeedGrader. And so to show you SpeedGrader, I pulled up an activity from years past where the students would have opened this endangered species project. It will be a slideshow again, so it's not a Google Doc, but it's the same concept. They've opened it up, they've worked on it, they've submitted it. And so now I click SpeedGrader and it looks like this. So this is the students, this student turned in this work. I can preview all their slides by scrolling. I can also click through their slides and see the work. Then I can go from student and it shows me which ones turned it in. So they have the little dot. Ooh, did not get a lot of participation on this one. And again, I gave them a blank template, and some of the kids, they added in their own pictures and that kind of thing, all from within Canvas. If you have multiple class periods, you can go to the top here and you have multiple sections. So then you can click on the section, it'll reload your SpeedGrader. And then you can obviously see that some students, put in more effort and work than others and created really good slideshows. And so super easy for me to preview all in one spot without having them to submit a million slideshows to me. I can then just go mark it, complete. Ooh, it's going to say there's an error because this is an old classroom that doesn't exist anymore. But when I grade that, it's as simple as that. Or if it's points and that kind of thing, I can also, because this is a canceled class, it doesn't let me add a comment, but I can quickly add a comment and then hit submit right here. And then so the student will get feedback as you grade it. Okay. It automatically also gives you a little icon for the grade book and will take you to the grade book for that class. And the students will only see, of course, their grades and their missing assignments and so forth. So yeah, that is that. And again, with a Google Doc, same thing. You'll see all of their Google Docs. You'll be able to scroll through them if it's multiple pages, all in one spot with this. So integrating it instead of sending out a link for them to make a copy is a huge advantage that Canvas lets you do.